All right, so this session is I'm doing some service dog training with her. She does service for me, and trying to get her to be more used to this backpack that she has on that has weights in it. She's still not fully comfortable moving around in it, so I'm just gonna again incorporate play, which is she likes to retrieve. So I have a stick that I found, and so I'm gonna do some command stuff with her that correlates with her service work, and then her release and reward is going to be stick play. I'm playing with the stick. And I'm doing this without the e-collar. The e-collar is on her. This is just kind of part of the conditioning process to prevent collar-wise behaviors. So I'm just having her just wear it, but I'm not actually going to use it. So right now what I'm doing is pretty intentional, actually. I'm just kind of walking around. I kind of see this similar to like when you put a saddle on a horse, and they kind of need to like acclimate to it. So they kind of, they'll move the horse around on the saddle and readjust it. I don't need to readjust anything on her, but as you saw, she did a big shake off. That was kind of like a big release for her. And right, that's kind of part of her not being fully conditioned to the backpack with the weights yet. So good to kind of have her warm up to the sensation of it. Heel. So the heel needs to be close to the hip. At least this is just, I'm not going by any standard other than what I would prefer her to do when we're out in public. The closer she is to me, kind of the more invisible she is to the public. And that's kind of the point of a service dog, for them to just kind of be invisible. You don't want them to be interacting with their environment unless the handler is asking them to do it or allows them to do it. So this heel is, I want her to be pretty tight with it, even on the turns. She has the little tab on her halty head collar that I can use for reinforcement if needed. So lots of distractions, lots of pulling dogs. Down. So this is actually a pretty major service dog activity or task. I guess more of an activity is for them to hold a down, and for them to not have separation anxiety. I'm laughing because just wacky dogs over there, their owners. Need to hold it down. They're not allowed to interact with their environment. They're ignoring things. You can do training in places where they have shelves. I don't want her to be sniffing or touching anything that are on shelves in stores. Again, she needs to be pretty much invisible while she's doing this downstay. She's not allowed to be exhibiting signs of anxiety or stress being away from me. That's actually a big issue of a lot of dogs. They have separation anxiety, and that's a learned behavior. That's a behavior that you have taught your dog, of course, inadvertently. It's not healthy for them to be anxious. So if your dog's experiencing that, you gotta help them out, educate yourself. Now I'm going to go back to her and do some other commands. Ground. Good. Heel. Good girl. Heel. Of course, praise and affection is a big reward for her, so I will use that as well. More of like a reinforcement of what she's doing. Now I'm going to start the game, the reward. Are you ready? Go. Good girl. Bring it. Drop it. Good. Very good. Heel. Play I found is a really good way for them to kind of release any kind of tension they hold in their body. Stress of learning something new, trying to figure out what I want from her. Just all the things of learning something new. It can be stressful. Doesn't mean it's bad. Ground. Heel. Good. Heel. Wardrobe. Error. Good girl. Of course, she's also food motivated, so I'm gonna enforce that. Very fortunate that she's motivated by pretty common motivations, right? Praise, affection, heel, play. Food. Six. Good girl. Heel. Are you ready? Go. Yeah. Good girl. Drop it. Good. Good girl. Alright, so now I'm going to work her on the left side. Heel. Of course, this is my non-dominant side. So to think a little harder of what I'm doing with my body. Requires more focus. Good girl. 6. Good. I'm intentionally kind of shifting my body and moving it. I want her to stay in place, no matter what. Heel. Good. Ground. Good. Heel. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah. Good. Good girl. Good. Are you ready? Good. Drop it. Good girl. Heel. Down. I've actually never done that before. I like for her to hold it down when I come back to her. Good girl. I actually had to work on when I say good girl for her to not, break her position. Doing good with that. Sit. Good. Ground. Good girl. So may not be noticeable in the camera, but this task right here I've trained her to do, which is called ground. This is pretty much, if I'm having trouble, this, she's leaning on me with her head and pushing me backwards. It throws off my balance. And for me, that very quickly snaps me back into reality, um, and grounds myself. I have to maintain my balance because if I relax, I'll actually fall backwards. How much she's putting pressure on me. Heel. Are you ready? Good girl. Good job. Bring it. Good. Drop it. Good girl. All right, so now I'm going to do some of the tab stuff that I've done with her. Really, the only thing I've taught her with the tab is if I release it with a finger pointing down, that's a sign for her to go into it down. However, if I release it and give another command, she has to follow that command. So this is what it looks like. That was good. And this is for her to stand up so I can reach it. Then heel. Good girl. Okay. Good job.